Mic check, testing 1, 2, 3, mic check. For those of you joining us through Facebook feed, this is the final sound check for the Gustavo Reyes memorial service. The service will start approximately 1 o'clock. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Sound check. Sound check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check. Testing, 1, 2, mic check, 1, 2. Sound check, mic check, 1, 2, 3, sound check. Can't hear still. Mic check, sound check. Is that better? Everybody hear me? You guys hear me? All right. Friends and family, the family is prepared to begin the services today, so we invite you to come in out of the foyers and find a nice chair, and we'll get underway. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. So we're just waiting for my father-in-law to come, but we'll get started. Thank you everybody for coming today and supporting us and celebrating Papito's life. We're grateful for that. Just gonna give my father-in-law like a few more minutes and then he should be here in just a sec. Okay, thank you. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started then with Gustavo's memorial. He wanted something small, but he had so many friends and family that loved him and supported him, so it turned out to be a little bit bigger than we thought it was going to be. But we are so grateful for all of you. Honestly, thank you. In these last days that we had with him, when we were talking about all his accomplishments and everything he had done, we're like, whoa, we grew up with that, right? So that was just normal for us. But then as we wrote it all down, we were like, Dad did a lot. So it's just pretty neat to kind of look back on his life and see all the things that he did. I'm Itzel Day, and I am his daughter, the youngest of 4, and I will be conducting today. Our opening prayer will be given by Rosita Mendizábal, his oldest daughter, and then we'll have a musical number from Cameron, How Great Thou Art. Cameron is his granddaughter. And then the eulogy will be given by Roxana Labersheimer, his other daughter, and we'll go to that point.
Buenas tardes. Gracias por estar aquí para celebrar la vida de mi papá, de nuestro padre, de nuestro amigo, de nuestro abuelo, de un ser brillante, con un alma muy grande. Gracias por estar aquí y por el soporte para nosotros. Vamos a hacer una oración para empezar a celebrar la vida de mi papá, Gustavo Reyes. Si se ponen de pie, por favor. Can you stand? Padre Celestial, en este día te damos gracias por estar todos reunidos en familia, por todos los que llegaron y tuvieron que tener un camino largo para poder demostrarle su amor a nuestro querido papito. Gracias, Señor, por habernoslo prestado por los años que tú quisiste que estuviera con nosotros. Agradecemos todo lo que Él nos enseñó en este camino de la vida. Tú, Señor, sabes perfectamente que Él fue un guía, que Él tenía un alma tan brillante y nos lo transmitió a nosotros. Señor, te pedimos con todo nuestro corazón y sabemos por fe que lo tienes en un lugar especial, junto a sus seres amados que lo estaban esperando en ese reino celestial que tú nos tienes preparado para nosotros. Señor, que Él en este momento sabemos que desde el cielo, si Dios da la oportunidad, está con nosotros en nuestro corazón, en nuestra mente. Padre mío, yo te agradezco con todo mi alma la vida que Él me dio y que con su vida yo pude encontrar y tener a mi familia. Gracias, Señor. Yo sé que el tiempo fue corto, pero muy largo, y que siempre, siempre vivirá en mi corazón. Que si no hubiera sido por Él, Padre mío, que tú le diste la vida, yo tampoco tuviera mi familia, pero tú eres tan benevolente, tan grande, tan maravilloso, que me has hecho crecer mi fe. Y yo, cuando tuve pláticas con Él dijo que yo no tenía nunca que perder la fe que yo tenía, y sé que la he acrecentado. Padre Celestial, bendice a todos y cada uno de los que están aquí presentes, de los que no pudieron venir, y los que están lejos de nosotros, que también lo amaban. Padre mío, te agradecemos su vida. En el nombre de nuestro Señor Jesucristo. Gracias. Amén.
O Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all thy hands have made, see the stars. I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble adoration and then proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art.
Oh boy. So when I was asked to give the eulogy, I was like, well, what should I say? And then I was reading up on what's the difference between an obituary and a eulogy, and it basically says that an obituary is what's in the paper, and a eulogy is read at the services. And I thought, easy peasy, I can do this. And then my husband was saying, well, you got to add stuff that he did. And I'm like, it's in there. It's in the obituary. Well, what about this? It's in there. I said, so anyway, so I'm going to do the eulogy. Hopefully I can handle this. Gustavo Reyes, February 24th, 1945 to March 23rd, 2022. In loving memory of our papito, Gustavo Reyes, loving husband, father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, Gustavo was born in Guatemala City, Guatemala, in Central America, to Florencio Reyes and Amalia Porras Reyes. He was the youngest of 4 boys. Gustavo graduated from the University of Fine Arts, Conservatorio Nacional de Música y Bellas Artes, Guatemala. Gustavo participated in many artistic venues in his life. He also learned how to oil paint, but his passion was music. Gustavo was married to the love of his life, Nirma Benitez, on May 5th, 1965. They were later sealed in the Mesa, Arizona LDS Temple for time and all eternity. Gustavo had 4 daughters. He lived in Guatemala and Mexico for several years until they settled in Provo, Utah. Gustavo participated in Utah Pageants of the Arts professional art exhibit in 1983. He was a gifted artist, and anything he put his mind to, he would accomplish. Gustavo went on to participate in several art pageants in Utah. He loved music. His greatest passion in life was composing, writing, and singing. He had many songs that he wrote and recorded. Gustavo put on concerts in Utah and participated in singing competitions also in Utah. He was gifted with so much talent that he shared with so many. Gustavo was a performer in Las Vegas, Nevada for many years. He was the resident performer in El Hacienda Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Gustavo was also talented in journalism. He worked as a television news anchorman for Channel 8 News in San Bernardino, California. We are so proud of our dad's many accomplishments and talents. Our father will forever live in our hearts. We know we will see him again. We're comforted to know he has been reunited with his sweetheart and are living their happily ever after. In his words, "Take it easy, buddy." Gustavo is survived by his 4 daughters, Rosita, Elvie, Roxana, and Itzel, 10 grandchildren, and 1 great-granddaughter. He was preceded in death by the love of his life, Nirma, his parents, and 3 brothers, Jorge Mario, Samuel, and Enrique. The Reyes family would like to express their gratitude to the nurses and staff of Provo Nursing and Rehab for their support throughout this process. The family is also extremely grateful to Suncrest Hospice and their nurses and aides for all of the support and knowledge they shared in this difficult time. We would also like to express our sincere gratitude to Legacy for taking care of our father's body and remains. And to everyone that's here and afar, thank you for your heartfelt condolences. I would like to read some words that I found of my dad's. It's in Spanish. Vive con sencillez, en paz y en armonía contigo mismo. Dios es la meta suprema. Agárrate siempre de Él. De esta tierra, Él es lo único que nunca falla. Gustavo Reyes. I love you, papito.
Thank you. Now we're going to turn some time over to our family. There were some grandchildren that would like to express some thoughts regarding our papito. So I'll go ahead, and if you're willing to do that and come up, great. And we'll just give a few minutes for that, whoever wants to go first, okay?
Hi, I'm Botiti, and my grandpa was so special to me and so dear to my heart. I think some of my favorite memories with Pepito is when it'd be like during Christmas or like New Year's Eve, and he would like pull me into his studio and just talk to me and give me like some really good advice that I'll never forget. He was just like a very wise man. Yeah, I miss Pepito, and that's all.
Hi guys. Everybody looks nice today. Thank you for coming. But really though, you guys look nice today. Thank you. For sure. What? Papito? Miss Papito for sure. But before he passed away, I spoke with him. He said, "Take it easy, Rick. Take it easy. Take care of your family. Take care of one another." And he just spoke on all the things, like how my sister said he'd pull you in and tell you all these things. I was his youngest grandson, so I always saw him like pulling all these people in, like talking to him and like giving him lectures and stuff. And I was like, when am I gonna get mine? Like, I'm waiting. Like, what is he gonna say? I'm like, I'm gonna go in that room and he's gonna tell me something, you know. But he spoke on a lot of stuff. Growing up, you know, youthful things. Like he did say a lot of things that are still going through a lot of people's minds, like temptations in life, all the temptations that life gives you and all those things. But always told me not to be tempted by all these negativity in life, but it was cool. It was cool. He would say lots of stuff and we would get deep and then I would forget it all. And I'd forget it all and I'd tell him like, I forgot all that stuff you told me, and he'd say, I know, like I told you even though you were gonna forget. I told you all these things. But he was funny. Even when he was in the hospital, like he didn't like the nurses and anything like that, you know? He didn't like the nurses, but when I showed up, he'd start treating the nurses nice and all that. And they're like, your grandson's here, is that why you're acting nice, Gustavo? I thought that was funny, you know, all those things. But we were always trying to laugh most of the time, you know. I always wanted to be smiling with him more than to be sad or anything. So if he was here today, he would say, drive home safe and take care of each other. Take care of everyone, you know. He's good. He's a good-looking guy. You guys know him. That's awesome. That's a good picture, I would say, for sure. It's a nice picture. But yeah, I'm trying to think of something funny that he would say. Just everything. I remember a lot of things, even the way that Papito smelled, you know, like all those things. But yeah, I'm proud that I was his grandson, you know. I'm proud that I got to know him for sure. But all you guys look nice. Thank you for coming, all of you. Seriously. Giving you guys a huge hug all at once. Everybody. But thank you. Thank you guys.
Hi everyone, my name is Helen. I only had Papito in my life for a short amount of time, but in that time, he taught me a lot of things. I know exactly what kind of deep conversations you're talking about because I was lucky enough to have a few. He also, hearing all the accomplishments he's had throughout his life, I was lucky enough to be able to talk about some of them with him. And one of them is just me being able to talk to all of you because he shared a lot of his public speaking. And I feel that I will carry that on and do my best to honor him because I'm just grateful to be here. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Javier Mendizábal. Apologies for the sunglasses, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep them on. Just like my sister and my brother Kevin, we had an opportunity to meet Papito, and to be honest, I just like to express it's kind of insane how much of myself I think I see in his upbringing, and I'm not really a person to express myself verbally. I'm not much of a public speaker, but one thing that he and I got to talk about is a passion that you need to find in life, and something that'll help you carry on when even everything seems tough and dark. You have to have something in your heart that can keep you going, and one thing that he and I know shared in common, and I feel is a huge part of me, is the love for music. Anybody that knows me, and if y'all get to know me, that's the main thing that I love about life. It's gonna sound insane, but I think music, just like Papito might have felt it, is a pretty big deal. To those who understand it, I would say. I'm looking at all the pictures and hearing of all the accomplishments he's had, his work ethic, his wisdom. I don't know, man, I'm blanking out, but all I can say is that I feel like without him, I obviously wouldn't even be here. He helped create my mother, Rosa, and without her, none of us would be here. And I'm talking just about my immediate family and getting to know my cousins and anybody else that may be coming along my way. I don't know, man. He gives me like this passion, a drive to want to pursue more of what I'm into, and music production, drumming, composing music, writing, literature, expressing yourself through words. It's important. It's important to keep like the art alive, and I don't know, man. I guess I just a lot of him is in me, I think. Maybe just because of that, or maybe a lot of the passion that he had, or a lot of the work ethic he had, I don't know, but I didn't get to know him the way that a lot of people did, being a young guy who maybe wanted to get to know his grandfather in a certain way, but even getting to meet him for a certain amount of time is super important to me. I love my family. I love y'all, even though this is the first time I'm meeting y'all. Hopefully I get to see y'all, more than once, but I apologize for not being able to stay as composed as I maybe thought that I could be right now, but thank y'all for being here, of course, and appreciate to get the opportunity to meet a lot of you. And I don't know, man, I'm just appreciative of everything he left behind to his family and to anybody he's ever met. He gives me inspiration. You could do whatever you want, man, especially when you come from nothing or from somewhere that you maybe thought you wouldn't be able to get out of. I think a lot of us could look at this opportunity to be able to see that we can aspire and reach goals that we don't think we can get to. So I'm just hoping that the time I get to live here is, gonna get to be able to fulfill what I know in my heart I'll be able to do. So hopefully I'll be able to see y'all a lot more, but thank you for listening to me. I guess that's all.
Wow, that was great, Javier. I really can see that you got the public speaking from my father. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate each one of you. I know many of you. I've talked to many of you before my father passing. Thank you for the text messages, constant and support. I'm grateful for my sisters, their families. Roxana, she was my little sister, but then Itzel took that place. And then I thought I was the eldest child, but then I have Rosita. So I'm kind of the middle child. I always knew I could balance a lot of things. Isn't that what they say about the middle children? Anyway, as you can see, my dad, he wasn't a very tall guy in stature, but he had a huge personality and a great sense of humor. And his favorite holiday was Christmas, and he would start preparing December 26th for the next year. So, he was quite into Christmas, and really, I am so proud of everyone that recognized the artist in my dad and his talent, lots of talents. And like Javier said, my dad, he was an orphan, and he was put in an orphanage because his parents couldn't take care of him. And he always had that thing in his heart that he wanted to do something, what he wanted to do, and express it. And he taught me how to be confident and, present myself in a good way, and especially in business, be confident, stand up there. People want to know what you have to say. It's all right, So I've learned a lot from my dad, and I talked to him a lot. I took care of him these last few months, and we had a lot of good laughs. And he did not like the nurses, and he didn't like the food, but he did like the nurses. When his grandson and I were walking, he would change his whole attitude. I wanted to say this funny thing about my dad. If anyone wanted to stay over to the house and, spend the night or whatever, we say, sure, you're welcome to stay. This is your home. My dad would say, take a bed. Stay. So just take a bed. I want to thank my father for my life, and I got a chance to thank him for my life. He had some moments where he didn't think he was a good father. And, I think as parents, we want to be great parents. We want to be great people. We want to be good examples. We want to be good brothers and sisters. And he had a lot of conflict that he didn't get to be a good father, and he had a lot of guilt. But I said, no, you've done the greatest thing you could have done, and you gave me my life. And because of my life, I have 3 beautiful children. I have a beautiful little granddaughter. I love Sky for having Sunny. And life is challenging, but everything will be okay with love and support, and not shaming or talking bad. It does nothing. I love my sister Rosita. She's always been trying really hard to be close to us and my father, and she found him later in life, but I think it was the greatest gift that my dad could have received before he passed away. My little sister is like a daughter to me, and I always want us to be happy and support each other. My sister Roxanne, too. I am here for you, and I want to be a better person, mother and sister. Tito, my son, he is a big artist, a talented person like my nephews over here. And you guys are great kids. I see a lot of wow, how everything, like I said, my dad had this huge personality, so all of the talent and all of his gifts with art, I mean, my nephews have that. Victor, music. Ricky, he has a great sense of humor. He got lectured a lot and forgot a lot, but all of a sudden he does remember today. Royce, thank you for coming. Romeo and Laura, you've always been there. Lori and Todd, one of my best friends. My nieces, whom I love dearly. And Richard, he's the photographer. The Beautiful Day family. Another beautiful day I see all the time. My ex-husband Victor, who has been very supportive through a lot of changes in our lives. My stepson Josh, who I deeply love and miss. Thank you. Thank you for attending. It means a lot to me and to our family. Again, thank you all for coming. I see some faces. I'm sorry I don't remember some names. Veronica, she's my friend from school. Carlos Rubio, who is like a brother. I think he is my brother. His parents were essential in our transition from Guatemala to the United States. They offered their home, they opened their hearts, and we had great meals. And JR, he is my fashion analyst and great support, and we laugh together. Matt, thank you for loving Titi. And Titi, what can I say? You're the only daughter I have, and I'm so proud of you. You're a great lady, and Papito loved you dearly. All of the nieces, Helen, thank you for your kind words. I know you had those talks with my dad, and they're special. You always take away something, and you will always remember. Marla, thank you for supporting Tito. He's not a tall guy, but he's a big bundle of art. Thank you all. I love you all, and thank you. And Lee, thank you for always attending our events. And Diana, too, who's one of the best ladies I know. Romeo and Laura, thank you so much again. I love you. Thank you, Jeff Day. Thank you all. If I've missed someone, Shane, Matt, their families, I'm grateful for all of you that are here. I may not know all of you, but I'm very happy. This lady right here who has this bright, beautiful smile, this beautiful lady, thank you. I appreciate you all. And again, I thank my Father for my life.
My name's Jeff Day. I'm married to Itzel, Gustavo's youngest daughter. I thought I'd get up and say a few words about Papito. I've had Papito in my life for 21 years. That's been a long time. Papito, one of the things that I would like to talk a little bit about, they've mentioned a little bit about his personality. He had a great sense of humor. I grew up with a father that had like sayings that he said, stuff, he still says them. Stuff like, it's hotter than 40 acres of burning stumps and drier than 80 miles of dirt road. Stuff like that. But Papito had I wouldn't be able to tell you how many of those little sayings he had. And like I said, I've been around him for 21 years, and even in probably in the past few months, we heard new ones that we hadn't heard in 21 years. But he'd always have these little sayings, and he'd say them, and they'd just come out with them like nothing, and what did you say? And then we'd go back and he'd say it again, and the ones that I remember probably aren't appropriate to say here. I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into his love of Christmas. Elvie mentioned this a little bit, and she's not lying that he started planning on December 26th. I remember many times in March, he'd be asking me, he called me Jeffrey. He'd say, "Me Jeffrey, what are we going to eat for Christmas?" I said, "I don't know, Papito, we're in March." It's like, "No, but this is important." And so we'd start planning, and like, "What are you going to make?" "I'll make a brisket." "Well, what else do we need?" I'm like, I'm making a brisket, Papito. There's not that many of us. And he's, "Well, we need something else. Maybe we can get La Tote to bring a ham again, and La Nena's going to bring it. We'll figure it all out." But we always had way more food than what we could eat. But one thing I did want to say is, everybody remembers this, and even Botiti said it while she was sitting here. So he invented this game. And the game, the first year we played the game, it was his own version of like Wheel of Fortune, except for he didn't have the wheel, and there wasn't a fortune. There was a prize at the end, though. And he got all these letters, and he had it in a notebook, what letters went where and everything, and we stuck all these letters up on the wall, flipped around, obviously, and Brittany got to be Vanna White. There's Brittany. She got to play the Vanna White role. And here we went around. Each person got, and this thing got refined over time, but this was the first time. But each person got to guess a letter, and we go up there and flip them around, and Brittany's just looking exactly off what he has in the notebook written down. And we're going and going. We get like probably 90% of the stuff turned around, and the phrase is in English. And Papito, he spoke very good English, but he didn't spell very good English. And so none of us could guess what this thing was. And we just kept going around and around and around, and nobody could guess it. And then finally, I can't remember how we finally got to the end, but somebody said something, they're like, "Yes, that's it." And we're like, "Brittany, why didn't you turn that around? That should have been an R." She's like, "It's not in the notebook." But he loved Christmas. He loved giving gifts. He was always a gift giver. He loved seeing people's faces happy. He loved doing that. And so he'd always ask me what I wanted for Christmas, and I always told him Mountain Dew. And he never liked that. He always wanted to get me something nicer than Mountain Dew. But in the end, the past couple of years, he got me Mountain Dew, and I was happy. So anyway, he was a very great man. As many said, he gave lots of good advice. I called those his studio sessions, because he'd always like come into my studio, and that either meant you did something wrong or you're getting a good piece of advice. And about the studio sessions until you got in there, and then you figured out which one it was, and got a lot of good advice. But I appreciate having him in my life. He brought me my wife. He brought me my second family, who I love greatly. And I'm happy to know that he's reunited with his wife. Ever since she passed, he's not been the same person. He's missed her dearly, and knowing that he's back with her gives us peace. And thank you again. As Elvie said, thank you all for coming. He had lots of friends and family. Not all of them fit in this room. Not all of them could come, but thankfully we can have a live stream, and many of those people get to join us through that. And I leave this with you and say thank you.
Buenas tardes de nuevo. Yo estoy muy agradecida con Dios, para comenzar por ahí, de que Él escuchó siempre mis oraciones para estar al lado de mi padre. Cuando fue algo tan repentino, pero tan bonito, y le agradezco a Dios la vida porque tengo una familia que si no hubiera sido por Él, no la hubiera encontrado, no la hubiera conocido. Tengo mis 3 hermanas, mis hermosos sobrinos, todos, y que también por Él formé una hermosa familia. Mi esposo Víctor, gracias por el soporte. Mis 3 hermosos hijos, Kevin, David, Helen, Steve, por estar conmigo. A todos y cada uno de los que están aquí, muchas gracias. El día que yo vi a mi papá, no sabía qué hacer, tenía mucho miedo, pero él me enseñó que yo tenía que ser más fuerte de lo que él pensaba que yo era. Y estamos aquí. Vamos a celebrar su vida cada uno con los recuerdos que tenemos de él. Sé que vamos a seguir llorando, porque su presencia física va a hacer falta cuando suene el teléfono y no va a ser él el que me está llamando. Y que cada vez que sonaba me decía: mamadita, ¿para cuándo mis chiles rellenos? Yo quiero mis chiles rellenos. Hazte unos platanitos fritos. Quiero que los hagas. Tengo muchas memorias que se van a quedar conmigo, porque son muy especiales. Fue un corto tiempo que yo todavía no puedo creer que él ya no esté aquí físicamente. Quiero decirle a cada una de mis hermanas que gracias por el amor, el cariño, el recibimiento que nos han dado. Y que, como él decía, manténganse juntas. Pase lo que pase, manténganse juntas. Somos 4. Gracias por incluirme en su vida. Gracias a todos y cada uno de ustedes. Papito, sin usted, yo no tuviera mi hermosa familia. Gracias por su soporte. Muchas gracias. A todos y cada uno de ustedes, que Dios los bendiga. Aquí estaremos siempre. I love you, papito.
I'm just going to start crying now. I originally told my mom I wasn't going to speak, but just hearing everything, I thought I would share a little bit as well. I didn't get to meet Papito until I was 8, and even from day one, he just took us in like family, and like he knew us forever, and God help us through everything. Even with his little studio sessions, he never had ill intent towards anyone. And even from the first time he met you, you were already family. On a lighter note, one of my favorite stories that I always remember was my mom sent us over to stay the night at their house, and we had a laptop to do homework, do some research, and he was very against the electronics, and he took away the charger, and he took away the laptop, and everything like that, until my mom came to pick us up a couple days later. But in those moments, it was inspiring to see he wanted that connection with us. He wanted the connection with family and friends, to be deeper than just a hello or a wave goodbye. In his last days, I'm very thankful for my work for letting me be there. And giving me the opportunity to have one last moment. And I remember walking in and he was so peaceful. And him knowing that I was there and him being more alive and more awake in that moment was a blessing for me to have that memory. I just want to say thank you, Papito, for everything. And for loving all of us as if we were your own children.
So great to hear stories about Papito, and we could probably talk forever about all of his funny stories. And I have a whole bunch, but we are getting a little short on time. So, and I really want my nephew Victor Gustavo, who has my dad's name as well, to be able to share some things that he has prepared. So we're going to turn the time over to him, and then we are going to just have our closing prayer after he's done by his other daughter, Elvie Parkinson.
Hey guys, I'm just gonna set up the Papito's machine here real quick. So yeah, this is the machine that he used to record pretty much like the bulk of his songs. He was using this from like the early 80s till he upgraded recently to like a bigger machine. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys this is his system. So I'm gonna set it up here real quick. Well, thanks everyone for being here. I'm Victor Gustavo. Yeah, my grandpa was a really cool guy. He was really funny. Wrote some notes down I want to go through. Yeah, I don't know where to begin. The last 3 services that I attended, I didn't say anything, and I felt really bad, just because I feel like so many people here that I love and that loved him. I thought it would be best that now I say a few words for him. Yeah, so I think since this whole thing happened, I've just been thinking a lot about life, and different questions come up, and I was trying to think of how to word Papito's essence, because he's such an artist and he was always on a journey of love. And I kind of thought about how he always had this invaluable research and gift of knowledge and love from his perspective of life. And kind of going through his studio gear, I feel like I'm getting to know him on a different level because everything is so labeled, and I've been listening to his voice so much. It's almost like he's teaching me through his soul and channeling different energy of like passion and love. And I do feel regret that we didn't get together and make recordings, but I think it's a healthy regret. It's kind of like it was like almost like a final lesson that I should be more giving of time to others and make the time to just to meet family and loved ones where you can. And I feel like life is like a gift, but the gift is time. It's really the only thing that we have. You know, money and everything else is kind of what this world has brought, but really we only have time, and we can't even really control that. So time well spent with loved ones is the best way to spend time. Let's see. Yeah, I think that, I'm just still going through so much, and there's just so many questions that are, that come up, and you ask yourself, and you ask Papito or God or whatever it is that you believe in. And I think doing a lot of pondering and everything, I feel like my belief is that God is in you, and the creator of your time and how you spend it. And Papito knew this, and you could feel it with all his wisdom, and he just knew so much beyond us, as he was always on this soulful journey of discovery for the other side. And I felt two things when Papito died. I felt one was like, I gotta get back to Guatemala. I wanna go there. I wanna see like how he grew up and just where he met Madre and kind of connect with that side. Because before I never really had a desire to go. I'm not sure why, but now I really feel like I wanna go. And then I also felt kind of more comfortable with death and dying. I feel like I had a little bit less anxiety about it because I felt like Papito was going to help me cross over to the other side when it was my time. So I felt like that was really, really spiritually cool. And I kind of feel like all the lessons that Papito has taught and all his consejos have always resonated with me as I've been growing up. They've always just stayed in the back of my mind and kind of been a foundation for who I am today. And I feel like, our purpose here is, what we can do here is to create our personality and soul to take to the other side. And, with love, that's all we know, and it's all we take. I think just time is a big thing that I've been questioning, because there's only so much time, and you don't know when time will be up for you. And it's almost like when Papito died, it was like time just stopped, but the world going on around you. You have to go to work, you have to do all this stuff, but it feels like your world is crashing, and it's hard to block that out. And it's like the concept of time is something I never really think about, but it's always moving, and it's that blessing that makes things heal and grow. It's just this huge clock that's in the sky that we can't control. Yeah, I never really imagined this day would come, but I'm grateful that it's here and we can be united and be together. It made me realize that, every day is kind of like the one before. The sun rises and sets, and what you build off of living every positive and negative moment, you grow, and that becomes the movie of your life for everyone to see. So let me play some of Papito's songs and we can listen to his voice here. It's pretty cool. Let's see. So there's 16 tracks on here, and every single one is taken for every song. There's like 20 songs on this CD. And I can't talk about Papito without talking about Madre. I feel like she was a really big inspiration for his art and a guiding light that he would always look to. It seems like the majority of his songs are about love and Madre, and you can tell that he had a lot of love and a lot of emotion to give. So let me play this song for you guys. Let's see here. I think it should be ready.
Todos vamos por el mundo sin saber nada de él, donde hay ricos también pobres, conviviendo en la danza del vivir. Y el sonido que tú escuchas son las notas de reír y de llorar. Es difícil comprender cuando un niño ya no juega porque un hombre debe ser. Pero no te confundas, busca la luz de la esperanza. Hay que continuar. No te creas que es imposible. Ese problema que te agobia y que tanto te ha hecho llorar, no lo conviertas en grande, deja a Dios su solución. Otros extienden su mano y te ayudan a salir, el silencio te respeta. Es el lenguaje más puro del amor. En el silencio es donde se encuentra Dios. A pesar del duro invierno, todo vuelve a florecer. No arruines ir a ese hogar que fue primero, que dejamos una vez para un día regresar. Siempre estaré aquí a tu lado, pero no te confundas, busca esa luz que da la paz y la esperanza. La paz y la esperanza.
Thanks, guys. Last thing, thanks everyone for coming. Papito was a true artist. He was a unique man. He knew what he was doing. It was all in his mind. And let's live now and spend our time for this beautiful, unrepeatable miracle of the universe that is Papito. Gustavo Reyes, thank you. Oh, and I'm going to be transferring his music to digital format, so we'll make recordings for everyone. Thank you.
My closing prayer is in Spanish. En estos momentos que necesitamos fortaleza y amor, busquémosla. Busquémosla con nuestra familia, con las personas que amamos. Yo dedico esta oración para seguir adelante. No es un adiós, no me gustan las despedidas. Es para que continuemos y podamos buscar en la otra vida más fortaleza, amarnos unos a otros en esta vida, no tener resentimientos. Agradezco a todas las personas que están aquí. Yo amo, adoro a mis padres. Estoy muy triste, tengo muchas emociones, pero al fin mi padre está descansando. Sufrió mucho físicamente, emocionalmente, pero todas nosotras como hermanas hicimos nuestra parte. Descansa en paz mi padre, mi papito, mi amigo. Todo lo que usted me enseñó está en mi corazón. Que la fuerza de este universo, Dios, todo lo que ha hecho este universo, las posibilidades de la vida, de encontrarnos unos a otros, que con eso podamos vivir y seguir adelante, porque la vida, como decía mi papá, no es un stop, tenemos que seguir luchando. Gracias por todo, por mi vida, por mis hijos, otra vez, el padre de mis hijos, mis hermanas, la familia. Todo es la familia, y mi papá lo hizo posible, logró muchas cosas. No era dinero, fue nuestra familia. Digo todo esto en el nombre de los poderes grandes del universo, del Dios que vive en cada corazón. Amén.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming. We'll be proceeding from here to Payson for the graveside service. If you'd like to go there, it's in Payson Cemetery as well. And those who can't make it, we're thankful for you coming and celebrating this moment with us. And there will be a luncheon for family and friends at our house in Payson. If you don't know where that is, I can give you an address. 317 West, 1500 South in Payson. So if you'd like to meet there as well, we have a luncheon as well. Thank you.